What's up, family? What's up, family? I just had to come on and speak for a little while. Just have to share some views that I have. You know, it's enough that we're dealing with COVID-19, and as America and as a nation and as a world, we are quarantined at this time. We all know that's been in the news and everything, but it's enough that people are dying from what they say this COVID-19, this horrific virus, this pandemic that has trying to take over. However, but I believe there is another epidemic, if you will. I want to say is an epidemic, and in dealing with killing off the African American male. That is definitely, I feel that is an epidemic, because it's very serious that it look like almost every week there's always a situation that's occurring with our African American men. However, I want to be specific and share some information with you. I'm not a lawyer, but I do have the right to express my views as a Black man, African American man, man of color, light skinned man, red man, or even a brown man, if you will. And I'm also an artist. I'm an artist. Back in the day, I produced an album called Pump Them Hands Up, gospel rap. And my message was pretty much dealing with nonviolence. And I had a song called Street Corner Hustler that I used to visualize and see these guys, on the streets where I worked at in a housing facility. However, I have a topic that I want to share with you today. It's called modern day lynching. Modern day lynching. And I'm gonna kind of explain to you what I'm talking about, but I just want to share with you some information here. And actually, I want to probably define some words, because I'm a man. I'm a man that likes to define terms, because I like to teach and educate individuals, because I believe a lot of people use the word loosely, but not actually understanding the context and the content of this particular word, which is called racist. And a racist is a person who shows or feels discrimination or prejudice against people of other races, or who believes that a particular race is superior to another. Now, I also want to go to the Cambridge English Dictionary. It states as follows: someone who believes that other races are not as good as their own, and therefore treats them unfairly. Okay. Now, my next word that I want to use is racism. Okay, so we define in racist, but we also go define racism. And that's a prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism. That word is antagonism, directed against someone of a different race based on their belief that one's own race is superior. Now, all individuals that's listening to me, there is no race that's far superior than the other. The only race that is superior is the human race. Say that. I created a video that's called Say that talks about African American men that's been treated unjustly. And what is very profound is that I'm not a racist person. I love individuals. I love people of all color. Actually, I mean, as you can look at me, I'm multicultural, So the thing is, what I want people to understand is not about hate. And that's something I guess I probably will eventually probably define too, because you cannot have hate without racism, or race being a racist without hate. Those things go together. Prejudice, having ill feelings. Actually, hatred is pretty much ill feelings toward another race. It's like an ill feeling. You just hate that individual. And in the biblical times, it talked about Joseph, that he was hated with his brethren. That word hated also is pretty much, I would use the word jealous. Jealous. So hatred Hating a person is really being jealous of that individual, if you want to put some facts or keep it 100. But what I want to also include is that my question to you is, are there any justice for the African American man in America? Is there really justice? Because we can we can keep going throughout history, and we can keep going throughout every a weekend or every week. There's always an instance of an individual being murdered. Now, the top news right now is dealing with a brother by the name of George Floyd that was caught by these. Actually, we saw in the video it was two cops that he had a charge for forging checks, which is a non-violent act, okay? And as I have looked at the video, the man wasn't doing anything wrong. He was on the ground, handcuffed, and the Caucasian officer, the white officer, had his knee on the man's neck. Now, anybody know of any, especially I know a police officer, know about if you're trying to put any force on a person's neck, eventually it's going to stop them from breathing, because that's a pressure point. So with this situation, and plus the man saying, hey, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. He's saying that he can't breathe. He's asking for some type of medical attention, and you just continue to put your knee on the man's neck like, oh well. However, there were some questions raised that we never saw the footage of what occurred previously. You see, so the thing is that, and I don't hate police officers. I have friends that are police officers. You know, I have a love, once again, for individuals, you know, first responders. I got a love for them. But you see, the thing is that there's a spirit that's running rapid in the police force, and in having a prejudice against the African American male, whether it's a thing to whereas inferiority complex, whereas they have some type of tension. But once I said, my topic is called modern day lynching. This was like a lynching. Now, when you define lynching, most of the term of lynching is defined as to put to death by hanging or by a mob action without legal approval or permission. That's normally the terminology of or definition of lynching, that it has to be by a mob, not necessarily. So when you put in context, lynching is basically taking the law into your own hands and killing an individual. No jurisdiction cause whatsoever, no legal cause whatsoever. You're gonna just kill the guy right in the public, putting your knee on the man's neck. And a person can't fight back if you're putting, y'all seen WWE, y'all see wrestling, y'all seen MMA. Come on. So the thing is that the man is on the ground. If he's handcuffed, how is he being a threat to whereas you putting your knee on the man's neck? But check this out. Then within 24 hours, they so say, quote unquote, fire the guys. Now, fire the guys? Why not lock them up and put them in jail? You see, that's all a game. The thing is, well, you know, we're gonna say we fired them, and I'm sure they probably still having their money coming through. You know what I'm saying? A little pat on the hand. We're gonna fire them, so say. But why don't you have these guys in jail? You see? But if it was the opposite persuasion, who would have did that? Oh, they would have been locked up or even probably killed. You see? So are we actually, is there actually equality in America? And you see, from my perspective on what I'm seeing, and I'm about to go on a spiritual level, that's why we're going through what we're going through right now in this world right now. Let me tell you something. When it comes to a COVID-19, baby, it's going to get far worse than what a COVID-19 gonna do. You see, when you're trying to control a population, it's going to get worse. You really can't control too many people that have intelligence, right? Then you have an individual who created the internet, you know what I'm saying, try to see, well, we're going to try to create a system that we can control these individuals on a particular platform. You see, the thing is, what you don't understand is that when you try to create a system that try to control people, it don't always have a perfect situation. You follow me? So it's time for folks to start waking up and starting to understand your rights. Like I say, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a lawyer, but I know I have rights to speak and express my views because I'm an artist, I'm a speaker. I'm a motivational speaker. I can speak my view and my opinion. And what I've talked about, I haven't seen anything wrong. However, I will make my opinion by saying, that's wrong, man. I'm looking at this guy, have this man pinned down with his knee on his neck. And you have the other officer just looking, you know, and you got the people that surround taking footages of like, you know, man, take your knee off the man's neck. What is he doing? I mean, if you're going to detain him, detain him. But you see, this is the game. The game is this. Like I said, from when I was looking at other clips, previously, you don't know what went down. So probably he's going to be like, well, you know what? I'm going to show you. If you're going to try to resist, well, I'm going to show you. You know, I'm going to make you a public obstacle. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make you a public image. You know what I'm saying? And then the demising of the man's death. Isn't that sad? George Floyd. It's a sad situation. Who is going to be next week? You know, the last time it was Ahmaud Arbery, black man that was shot and killed in Georgia while he was jogging in the neighborhood. Come on, man. And the man, it was allegedly going into a home. We saw that the home was being fixed up. It was new construction. Ain't nothing wrong with going to somebody's home that's in a new construction. You jogging down the street. You just go and look and see what's going on in the house. Maybe the man about 25 years old, maybe he looking for a home or something like that. He just looking to see what's going on. No evidence that the man stole anything. So why go and shoot a man in the street while he jogging? Two white guys. Once again, you're taking matters in your own hands. Call the cops. Yeah, that's all right. Call the cops. Call the cops. There's an African-American man going into a new home that's with construction. Call him. He's wearing certain amount of certain color clothing. He's jogging. Okay. But why you got to go and chase after the man in a car, in a truck? Why you got to go and drive behind the man with a shotgun? Now, check this out, people. What folks fail to realize, as an African-American male myself, and we got tons of examples, the Central Park 5. There's other guy that he was just released out of Angola Penitentiary, Archie Williams, that was on Angola Got Talent, was in jail for 36 to 37 years for being accused of raping and killing a white woman. And he didn't even do it. Thank God, because of DNA, it proved that he was innocent. But the man spent 37 years in a maximum security facility. My God, come on, people. Let me tell you this. As an African-American male, I have experienced this myself. You know what I'm saying? As a African-American male in my own neighborhood, man, let me tell you this. In my own neighborhood, because I love real estate, you know, as an investor, I love real estate. One evening, I left out of my house because I was looking at a article in the newspaper. That was a particular house that was around, and I put it in my GPS system, and I was trying to go find out where the home was, but it wasn't too far from my house. But come to find out, once I left out of my house, and I saw the cop that was, I saw the police officer passing. Actually, he was passing slow. excuse me, in his car. He was passing slow, like probably maybe 100 yards down the street. So I heard him, got out of my driveway and went around the corner and was trying to look for the house. Unfortunately, I didn't find the house, right? But this cop, when I turned in the person's parking lot, flashing his lights on me, right? I mean, a bright light at that, flashing his lights on me. So when I turned around, I said, what in the world is this dude doing? You know what I'm saying? So I went back to my house, right? And he saw that I made a block, right? So once I was into my street, because he saw that I made the block, he flashed his blue lights on me, right? But you know what? I didn't stop. I was maybe 50 feet away from my house. And I made sure I went in my yard and stopped my car and said, officer, is there a problem? And of course, they're gonna say, can I have your ID and insurance? And I'm like, sir, what have I done wrong? You see me pull out of my driveway and you follow me around the corner and flash the lights on me. Sir, what have I done wrong? You know? But if you continue on and saying anything negative, they're gonna say that you're resisting. So I gave him my registration. I gave him my ID. Man, this is my house. You see this is my house. This is my car. This is my registration. This is my insurance. And at the time, I had an Infinity, G35 Infinity. You know what I'm saying? I stay in a nice neighborhood, older neighborhood, real nice neighborhood. And he was checking me like that, right? And at the time, I was working for a substance abuse clinic. So I'm like, sir, I mean, what's the problem? And then after I give him all my information, I told him straight up, I said, man, my record clean. I'm clean as a whistle. I work at a substance abuse clinic. I mean, what's going on? So and then he gonna say, well, there was an instance that there was a burglar in your neighborhood. Sir, you just saw me got out of my house. Why in the world did I want to try to burglarize in my own neighborhood? You see me pulling into my car, a G35 Infinity. What I'm gonna do going into my own neighborhood, trying to steal in my own neighborhood? Come on, man. How stupid is that? You see what I'm saying? It's stupid. And you know what? I was frustrated. But check this out. I'm gonna let y'all know this. The guy could have shot me. I was in my own yard. The man could have shot me. How he could have shot you, Shawn? I'm glad you asked. Because I was so frustrated and angry that I reached into my pocket and I had a smaller a little smaller cell phone, right? One of them little small type of cell phone. I forgot the name of the little cell phone. One of them little small cell. It wasn't a flip phone, but it was almost like a size of a flip phone, right? And I was scared, man. I was reaching into my pocket. I was about to call 911 on the officer. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm reaching into my pocket, he probably could have shot me and said that you pulling out a gun. You see what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real. This is my own personal testimony. You know what I'm saying? And this was probably in 2000, I don't know, 2013, 2000, yeah, maybe 2012, I don't know, 2011, 2012, something like that. Yeah, this occurred. You know what I'm saying? So man, it's real, man. That's real. But this is my question to you all. I want to figure out when it comes to the police force, what type of training are they getting when it comes to taking a person down, when it comes to dealing with an individual. Man, look, I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're white, black, polka dot, green. I don't care what color you are. It doesn't give nobody a right to kill a man or woman. It doesn't give them a right to do that. It doesn't give them a right. You know what I'm saying? Even, I don't care if it's a black on black crime, still the same situation. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna call an ace a ace, a spade a spade. It's a wrong situation to whereas you have a white cop shooting these young black men down like that, man. Doesn't make no sense. And once again, I love police. I love individuals. I'm a man of faith. I love individuals, but one thing is that you don't take matters into your own hand. You're not God. You don't try to kill a person because you felt that they make you look bad. You follow what I'm saying? These guys have an inferiority complex. If a black man, I don't care if the black man cuss you out low as a dog. You know what I'm saying? That's him. Detain him, whatever you got to do. Take him down, whatever you got to do. I mean, don't beat the man up and kill a man. Come on, somebody. You see, right now, the spirit of hatred and how racism is really executing. Now, let's even talk about there was a situation in Central Park, right? I'm thinking about that in Central Park recently. A guy by the name of Christian Cooper. He was in Christian Park. He was in Central Park, right? Bird watching, educated brother. He's just bird watching. You know what I'm saying? White lady with her dog, walking her dog. Dog is not leashed. The dog is not on leash, and there's rules to whereas all the dogs have to be on a leash. So the brother was just saying, ma'am, you need to put your dog on a leash, right? So, of course, they want to do what they want to do, white privilege. And, folks might say something negative about that, but I mean, it's white privilege. We got to call it as it is. She's saying that the man is threatening her. She gets on her cell phone. It's on CNN. Y'all can go check it out. Gets on the phone and said, this African-American male is offending me, is threatening me and my dog. Really? And she said, and the guy is taking a photo. He got his cell phone and she's trying to go to him. Look like she's about to attack him. He said, ma'am, please don't come near me like that. Ma'am, please stay away from me. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to video you, because she didn't want him to video her, right? But this is our rights. This is our protection. We got to have our video, you know what I'm saying, to let the world know what's going on. So, and you can hear the trembling in her voice. She had a dog, and really that's almost like a animal abuse, because she had a dog by the collar, and the dog was kind of jumping around because he was uncomfortable, right? But she's trying to call the police and say, there's an African-American male, threatened me and my dog, can you come out here? And I'm sure they said, well, where are you, ma'am? I'm in Central Park. It's like, where? You follow what I'm saying? So, but then, to make a long story short, eventually the next day she got fired, because they don't want racism at their job, which is good. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, man, listen, that's our problem in this world, man. We have to love one another. I created a song called Pump Them Hands Up. All nations rejoice and surrender by lifting up our hands, giving praises to the Almighty. You know what I'm saying? We coming together on one accord, man. We're giving praises to the Almighty. It's all about love. We got to love one another, man. I don't care. It don't matter what color you are. We have to love one another. And there's a serious situation where folks got a hatred with the African-American male. Excuse me. Man, that's serious, man. That's really serious. And I mean, this guy that was in the Central Park, this was an educated brother. So it doesn't matter if you're educated or if you're not educated. People are going to treat you the same. Let me give you this story. And this is real, people. I'm coming from my heart, man. I'm being honest and I'm keeping it 100, because a lot of people don't want to talk like this. But I mean, I'm gonna say what I gotta say, because I ain't saying nothing wrong. You follow? I'm not cursing. I'm not using foul language. I'm keeping things 100 and giving you the facts. Now, let me take it to you like this, because I want people, this is going to bring some value to people. Once again, my background is in mental health and substance abuse. I never forget, I worked with a young boy, a little white boy, Caucasian, the Caucasian boy, because some people don't like using the word white, black, African-American, white, whatever you want to use the term as. This a little white boy, I was working with him. He was probably around about 9, 10 years old. You know what he told me? At 9, 10 years old, and me, I'm a light-skinned, fair-skinned individual. You know what he told me? He told me straight up, He don't like black people. I'm like, really? Come on. And as he and I was getting to know the little guy, right? I was developing rapport with him. That's what he told me. And you know what I told him? I say, well, really? I said, well, I'm brown. You know, I said, I'm brown. So I'm saying all that to say is that a little kid, 9, 10 years old, right? How can he come to a realization in his mindset that he doesn't like black people? It comes from the home. You follow what I'm saying? It's instilled in individuals from youth at an early age to probably in his household, it was talking about that they probably hate black folks. But let me tell you this, because I'm a man of faith and I love everybody. I love people, man. You know what I'm saying? I went into his home. I developed a rapport with him. And let me tell you, he and I was sitting on the couch. He was sitting right next to me, right? He was sitting right next to me. And you know what he did? He took his arm around me and he hugged me like I was his own. You follow what I'm saying? And I'm in his home talking with his parents, grandparents, the family that was in the house, right? I'm talking to them. And this little guy shift his paradigm and was hugging me like I was a family member. People, this is real, man. This is not a story I made up. This is my own experience, man. I got nothing but examples that I can share with you about situations. Is every white person racist? No, nah. There's good white people. There's good black people. There's good Asians. There's bad Asians. There's good Indians. There's bad Indians. Whatever race you are. Because you know why? It's all about the person's belief system and their mind, their mentality, how they was raised up, right? That's what it's all about, man. So if a person is angry, if a person hates another individual, me as a person of my background, I like to know, where does that stem from? Where is that coming from? To have so much anger, to have so much hostility, to have so much hatred against a certain race of people. And we can even go back into Hitler time when he had hatred against the Jews. You follow me? That was another situation of racism. Hatred against the Jews, putting them in concentration camps and killing them off and stuff like that. You follow me? But what I want people to know is that in my message today, it's modern day lynching on the African American male. And we can even go throughout biblical times when King Herod, right? When King Herod had all the young boys to be killed because he knew that there was a savior who was coming into the world, that Jesus was coming into the world, right? You see, the enemy knows who has power. And I'm here to let you know that the African American male is a man who has power. The African American male is a male that has greatness inside of him. And it's a shame that individuals, because through music, through influencing music and influence of social media and TV, how there is a downplay on the African American male. You know what I'm saying? About the incarceration. I don't know what's the statistics on the incarceration, but there's a lot of African American males that are graduating from college. There's just not a lot of African American males or even brown men, Latinos, that's incarcerated. But once again, where is that derived from? Low socioeconomic backgrounds, you know, no matter if they're violent acts, using drugs, there's a status situation economically, you know. We got to look at all these people. But when you look at the media, they only paint a picture one-sided. So this is some dialogue that I want to talk about. This is some dialogue that we need to talk about as a people. It don't matter what color you are, but there is a systemic situation in America against the African American male. And the thing is that, think about it. When a police siren comes on, man, it brings fear in people, man. I don't know about the white male, but even with a black man, when he hear a siren, dude, it's like, man, are they coming after me? Are they about to kill me? Are they about to kill me? Bruh, it messes with your head for real. It's real talk. And that's what a lot of people is not talking about, man. Folks is not talking about the realness. It's only one-sided. And I'm bringing it out, man. I'm talking about it. And I don't care if I get flack from it. But like I said, I haven't said anything wrong. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm speaking the facts. Once again, you're not hearing me cursing. I never drop no F-bombs, no N-bombs, because that's another thing. We got to keep things 100. Then let's keep it professional. Let's keep it 100. You know, not every person that's an African American male, look at himself as the N-word, because I mean, I'm a king. I don't look at myself as the N-word. I'm a king. I'm a man of royalty. You know what I'm saying? So whatever negativity that you want to portray against me, one thing, you're not going to talk down to me to say I'm an N-word. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a king and I know who I am. And that's one thing that we got to understand. As a people, you have to know who you are. African American individuals, people of color, Latinos. You got to know who you are as an individual. Be prideful in yourself to understand that we are kings and queens up in here. You heard me?